Welcome to Eagles and Airwaves, Voices and Topics from Thompson Valley's high school students.
Hello everyone. This is Kaylee Segerstrom here, and welcome to episode 2 of Kaylee Talks about pop culture and lost media. So, I was gonna do a video on, a episode of me discussing Problematique by Petras, and I decided to hold that off. But I do want to discuss something that has been on my mind for a couple months now, and that is the album, and we're still gonna talk about Kim Petras, by Kim Petras, that was an album that got made and then got scrapped for brand new songs. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit and kind of discuss that. So yeah, and bear with me, I did not listen to the first podcast, so yeah. Okay, so a little background on who Kim is. If you haven't listened to her music, you should really check it out. It's really good. She has about 8 projects. She's about to release her 9th. She has 2 EPs. She had 3 mostly, but one that got released 14 years ago, and that isn't considered her body of work anymore, if that makes sense. So she has released one compilation album, and that compilation album had a had singles through 2017 to mid 2017 to early 2019. It was nicknamed Era 1 and finally got a title, The Summer I Could Do Better, which was because one song that was the 7th single that got released is called Can't Do Better, and that song was trending on TikTok and was featured on the Amazon Prime show The Summer I Turned Pretty. Sorry, I had to think of that a second. So yeah, and then she has released in 2 more EPs. One I cannot say because it's a very inappropriate EP. But she has released an Halloween EP that later got turned into a mixtape called Turn Off the Light, and there is a volume 3, but it hasn't been coming out yet, and I have made videos of these stuff in the past, mostly, but I am saving those videos whenever I get the chance to make a YouTube channel. So yeah, and then she released her debut album, Feed the Beast, and Problematique, which was originally going to be her debut album, but got scrapped and is now her sophomore album, and it released 4 months after her debut did. And then she released her debut mixtape Clarity, and then she released the sophomore to the EP, her second EP, and it was based in Miami. So yeah, so today we are going to be discussing kind of a project that nobody knows about and has little to no information, and it is a scrapped album that got made and was scrapped for brand new songs. So I don't really have my computer, so bear with me. This is just information I found. So we have to start through May 7th, 2020, so basically 5 years ago. I was a Kim stand them. Well, I did. Okay, that's a lie. I did listen to a song called Broken Glass, and that kind of made me a fan. And then Unholy, and then I was Bunhead forever. Anyway, so she released that song during COVID, and that was a pretty good single. And it kind of deserved a lot because it didn't get that much promotion due to COVID, but it did get a late night performance and a at-home music video, and the late night performance was with Jimmy Kimmel, so that was pretty good, and it only got performed during 2020, but she did bring it back like almost 2 years ago and performed it then, and yeah. So then I want to talk. So this was kind of the lead of the album process, and she had spoke about it in interviews that this was the lead single of her album, and yeah. So yeah. So basically, there wasn't that many singles, but there was some unreleased songs that were intended for this album. There's one called Tropical, and one that I can't name. I forget already, sorry. And this was kind of going to be like a summer, the album of the summer. So that was pretty interesting and really took a lot. And it's kind of weird that album never came out, and I think that like we would have died for it, like summer shows the year after and like the year after, and like, you know, but we were this time period where we had to stay home and there wasn't really stuff that we had to do. So yeah, but this song was very good. I mean, it did chart. I forget what number, I'm sorry, but it did chart and it was pretty good. But the thing I don't like about Kim releasing standalone singles is she only really performs it 1 year once or twice and never performed it ever again. The reason we saw this with Future Starts Now was because it was at the time where the original run was happening, and then before the cancellation and before the scrapping of the album. So, yeah, we kind of but Malibu has never been performed ever since, but she did bring it back in 2023. We've had Party Till I Die kind of being performed here and there. Sugar Crash and Jenny have only been performed during 2021 and only January 1st of 2022. That was a month after that EP came out, the second her sophomore EP came out. And I personally believe I know we're not talking about Problematique, but I do want to stay like a little bit to the subject. That I feel like that sophomore EP kind of ruined the original run. It started a bunch of controversy the day of its release, being because of Dr. Luke, who I'm not going to say who he is because a lot of people do know who he is, and he's not a good person. But he and Kesha is a singer-songwriter, and I love her music, too. So she got freed from him the day of its release, and that's why it also has a song called Throko, which is a mention to Lady Gaga. So that's interesting. But yeah, I kind of wanted to think she took off the kind of like Slater Aisha erotica route, and that kind of, and I would love to make a episode about her scrapped EP Snow Bunny, and yeah. So the next thing I want to talk about is just the album in general, what I would have loved to see in the songs that would have made a great fit that already like made it to other projects. First of all, we have to talk. And so we kind of never really, this album never came out, and I think the reason was because of the brand new songs, which I believe, this is only my opinion, the brand new songs, because of that album, got scrapped. It might have been for Problematique and Candy, which Candy was like started, which was, Candy kind of began during, right before Kim's career, ever since 2015, so we kind of really had like no input. We do know because they did get on a documentary, which I highly request you watch. It's on Amazon Music's YouTube channel. It's called Kim Petras The Lead Up, and that it kind of showed the whole track list of an album. And I would like to make an episode about this, and it's called Candy if you were not sure what it is. And I would love if we had a reworked version of this that came out, and I still have high hopes for that record. So yeah. But this album in general was only mentioned like 1 year, and it was never mentioned ever again. And it's because a bunch of people were like, not really. I don't know. It was kind of during, like, not just COVID, but many people I don't think cared about Malibu. Not, like, I know I said it was a big song, and it was, but it wasn't like, it was actually, fun fact, her last single before she signed with Amigo and Republic Records. If you don't know what Republic Records is, they have, like, Kira Kosaran, Haley Steinfeld, Ariana Grande, and Taylor Swift all signed to that label, and Kim Petras, and so, yeah, and so that was her last single, Bunhead Records. So that was her last single there. And I think, like, a lot of people were just, like, not feeling it. Because we had great songs in 2020, don't get me wrong. But it wasn't a good time. We couldn't tour. We couldn't do interviews unless it was virtually. And we had to do live performances at home. So that sucked for so many of us. So that's why I think she scrapped the album was due to COVID. But I think mostly, in my opinion, was just because I'm blacking out. She kind of started be this, I don't know, like, she had, like, this album, this single, it just, the whole point, the whole video she couldn't do, even though we would love it if she recreated it on the beach, but that was filmed at home. But there were so many, like, celebrity guest stars, like Slater, Paris Hilton, Demi Lovato, Sydney Sweeney. Well, I think she was in, like, I don't know. But yeah, that was, anyway, like, a really good song. It just kind of didn't hold up to much. And yeah. So I would love to crack kind of the whole, like, my thoughts on the track list and what would have been. And I feel like we would love that Malibu would this album would kind of have like turning in to our like era 1 vibes, like 3 years prior. And I feel like this kind of does give Era 1 in the most perfect way. I like listening to this, also with Coconuts, but yeah, also, I would love, speaking of Coconuts, I would really like if this song was on there, not because it talks about things that I shouldn't be talking about. It's not explicit, it just has coconuts as a reference to a body part, which I'm not gonna be saying, but yeah, I love that song, and I love both of those songs. And I know I'm gonna bring up the fact that Feed the Beast was kind of like, so kind of like this, album, like Coconuts was on, like, the Feed the Beast track list, and, like, I know, and it kind of confused me when that came out. I was like, why? It doesn't even fit the theme. So, yeah, and I would love if we had a tour a year after. So, yeah, and I feel like Problematique was kind of was gold during its original run until that second EP kind of, like, ran, kind of destroyed everything, like the original run, which is what I think that EP, like, ruined everything, and it kind of was like, and I didn't think Problematique was on the back burner, or this record, but I do think it kind of had a lot to focus on, and we didn't have, like, that much time. And I do like this, and I don't have my phone, but it's kind of like I do have this note app my notes app, and I have this page, well, I don't know what you call it, but this folder thing or whatever, and like I made like a track list of what that summer album concept could be. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my little rant about Kim Petras's lost album right before Problematique, and I do really hope of that. And I also forgot to mention tour is I would say the whole month of summer, and like probably like I don't know, like 10 or 20 in North America, or like 30 or 40 in like I don't know, but basically yeah, so it basically was yeah, and I would think starting in like May and like ending in like the beginning of August for me would be my plan if there ever was a tour for this record. So yeah, and also her probably celebrating the 4th of July, because we need fireworks and a Kim Petras concert, like, you know. So yeah, I hope you like my episode 2 podcast. I'm sorry it took this long. I don't know, but I'm sorry it took kind of long ever since the first episode, because I kind of had so many ideas and then I got sidetracked. So yeah, thank you. Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Eagles and Airwaves. Until next time, stay curious and keep soaring.